proses upgrade dari OJS 2 ke OJS 3. Kalau ada Bapak Ibu yang memang dari jurnal manager maupun dari editor yang ingin mengikuti workshop ini, silahkan. Tapi siap-siap kepalanya panas ya, karena yang akan dibahas sangat teknis sekali. Kami mohon agar masing-masing institusi sudah siap dengan spesifikasi dan sistem requirement yang sudah kami kirimkan agar dapat mengikuti workshop ini tahap demi tahap. Sebelum memulai acara, kami mohon para peserta untuk dapat menyalakan kameranya untuk foto bersama. Before we begin, please turn your camera on for the group photo. Panitia, kami mohon bantuannya. Terima kasih.
Baik, Bapak Ibu, silakan bersiap. Kami akan mengambil gambar. Dimulai dari slide pertama. Baik, sudah. Terima kasih banyak Bapak Ibu.
Baik, terima kasih Mbak Nail. Bapak Ibu, kita akan masuk ke acara utama yaitu workshop OJS Journal Upgrading yang akan dipandu oleh Jonas, Raoni, Soares, dan Silva. Kalau kemungkinan Bapak Ibu belum bergabung kemarin, kami akan bacakan sedikit secara singkat CV-nya. Jadi beliau bergabung dengan Public Knowledge Project pada tahun 2018 sebagai Systems Developer. Beliau juga banyak terlibat di Beacon yang memberikan data statistik penggunaan OJS di seluruh dunia dan membantu klien di publishing services. Dan saat ini bermukim di Moskow, Rusia. Di hari kedua ini, Jonas akan menjelaskan tentang tahapan proses upgrade dari OJS 2 ke OJS 3. Materi akan dibawakan dalam bahasa Inggris dan akan diterjemahkan secara ringkas dalam bahasa Indonesia. Pertanyaan dapat disampaikan via kolom chat dalam bahasa Indonesia atau Inggris dengan menyebutkan nama dan institusinya. Webinar ini akan direkam, nanti akan dimasukkan ke dalam YouTube channelnya RJI. Kami mohon Bapak Ibu untuk dapat mematikan audionya agar webinar ini dapat berjalan dengan baik. Oke, Jonas, the time is yours. Please don't forget to pause after several slides for the translation. Jonas, are you there?
Tidak didengar mungkin, Mr. Jonas.
Oke. Halo Jonas. Bentar. Masih di unmute ya?
Yeah, I just forgot to unmute here. So okay. I'm sorry if you attended the meeting from yesterday, but we are going to review some contents. So I can't do anything. Hello, everybody. Before I start the presentation, let me just say thanks to RJI and PKP for organizing the event. Also Maria, which has been very helpful and supporting me when I need it. So today I'm going to cover an important subject for us, which is upgrading your outdated OJS installation. And our focus will be from migrating from the version 2 to the version 3 or even later. Okay. Yeah, here, this one I didn't show there because it's not interesting for them. It's just technical slides. Here, I'm just showing the end of life of PHP. You can see that even PHP 8, it's already dead. So you should use at least PHP 8.2. And it's going to be dead in next year already, 2026. So you see it's everything connected. Then PHP will be over, the 8.2, and the OJS 3.3, it doesn't work with PHP 8.3. You have to upgrade also OJS if you want to upgrade the PHP. And it's all connected. It's much easier if you are always using the latest things. Otherwise, it's creating this snowball problem. In OJS 3.3, you can use up to PHP 8.2. In OJS 3.4 and 3.5, it's working already with PHP 8.3. And you can see all these requirements in the documentation. It's written there. I'm just talking fast because it's available. You can just check by yourself in the site. Yeah, here I left the table for MySQL. The MySQL 5 or 7, whatever you are using in OJS2 doesn't even appear in the list. There's no space because it has been dead for a long time already. And the recommended version, it's the 8.4, is LTS, because it will be kept for 7 years. So once you move to this version, you don't need to update anymore for many years. Okay, here I'm just showing from Postgres. I think there's few people in the community using this database, but it's in fact the best one that it's available. It has a lot of features and I never had problems with it. In MySQL, I found even bugs. So this one is much better. Okay, so here I'm just going to show the official upgrade path that you should follow if you have a Node.js. So the main issue regarding the upgrade from OJS 2 to OJS 3 is that there was a technical decision to remove all the codes to do this old upgrade. Because there was a lot of things that depends on old code and we had to remove because it's just not possible to update everything and keep all this trash together. It's creating conflicts with the new code. So they decided just to remove. It happened before I was there. In fact, I would try to keep just to not make the upgrade path so hard. But it's already done and it's not going to be changed now. So yeah, if you have a, yeah, let me explain here the table. If you have an OJS older than 2.4.8.5, then first you need to migrate to this version. It's the latest OJS 2.4 release that we have, and it's already supporting PHP 7, but it still needs a Node MySQL database to work. Then, if you are already not using this version, you can move to the next one. Yeah, if you have a version from 2.4.8 and 2.5 until 3.2.1.5, then you can migrate to this one. It's the latest OJS 3 release that can upgrade an OJS 2 installation. So it supports PHP 7, but it already works with the newer MySQL version. And here in the last, if you are already using a OJS newer than 3.2 or 1.5, and you want to move to 3.3 or 3.4 or 3.5, 3.6, whatever, then here you just need to decide if you want to use the LTS or the latest release, 3.4. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, if you are using 3.2.1.5, you can upgrade to any newer release that we have to just work. Okay, here I'm just going to show the real upgrade path. Yeah, there's just one more row in the top. It was shared with a colleague from the hosting team. He had to upgrade Node OJS 2 installation, and he saw that was missing one table in the upgrade. I think this information should be updated in our site. I just forgot to make it. Then I wouldn't need to add this slide. So if you have an OJS older than 2.4.6, first you need to migrate to this 2.4.6. Yeah, it's missing a column in the sessions table. You can also do this update by yourself if you understand how to read the changes in the code. You just need to add this column, and I think it's going to work. But if you don't have all this knowledge, better just to do the standard upgrade. Okay, move to the next. Yeah, here I just left an upgrade checklist. It's like everything that you should have before starting the upgrades. So you should have a functional OJS installation. If it's already broken, I doubt you are going to be able to upgrade. So it should be everything working fine. Functional database, it shouldn't have like broken, missing tables or whatever. It should be working. Administrative access to the resources, because you are going to need permissions to create files and create database, remove database, and etc. If you are limited, you are maybe not able to complete the upgrade. Then you need to download the OJS applications. You can download all that apply here. You can check. I left some rules, and here's the link for the archive. You can see here the OJS 3.4 releases, the OJS 3.3. There is everything here, and the old ones too. The OJS 2, there's even OJS 1. I never saw, I don't even know how it looks like. Okay, so here I left some notes. You should download the 3.4.6 if your OJS version is older than that. The 3.4, 2.4.8.5 if your OJS version is older than that. And the same here in the 3.2. Then here in the end, you need to decide between 3.3 or 3.4. If you want to follow the LTS release, then you just need to download 3.3. If you want to use the latest, then you can download 3.4 instead of 3.3. Yeah, and if you have courage enough, you can download 3.5 in some weeks. It will be full of problems in the beginning, but after maybe 3 months or something like that, it should be okay. Because we are going to do a lot of internal tests, and we're going to fix anything that is not round yet. Okay, I'll move to the next. Yeah, I think I'll start already following the checklist to see if I have everything here. So I have I got a Node OJS installation from PKP, from our demo installation. I found in a very old backup. It was using OJS 2.4 something. Let me see here. My files. Yeah, database. Yeah, it's using the OJS 2.4.8.2. It's the oldest installation that I found that has public information. Like even if it appears something, doesn't matter because it's not client data, so I can use it here in the workshop. So I have an OJS installation. I have the database, not a database, but the backup file here. The OJS installation I had to, but I don't need all the files. I just need the public files and the files from uploaded by the users and the config file. I wrote this in the next slide, but I'm going to review later. I need to have administrative access to the resources I have. It's my machine. I can do anything here. I need to download this OJS applications. Then I need to check here. My version is older than 2.4.6. No, it's 2.4.8, so I don't need this one. The first item. Is my OJS older than 2.4.8.5? Yes, so I will need the 2.4.8.5. The 3.2.1 I will need. And here I need to decide if I want the 3.3 or 3.4. I don't remember what I downloaded. Yeah, I downloaded 3.4. So I'm going to use this one, the latest release. Okay, so I have everything here in this checklist. I'll move to the next. So I need PHP 5.6 if my OJS is older than 2.4.6. It's not, so I don't need. PHP 8.2 if I'm planning to upgrade to OJS bigger or than 3.3. What? It's missing something here. Yeah, there should be the PHP 7 for my another upgrade. Yeah, it's missing the PHP 7 here. I will need to, because here this step still needs PHP 7 when you are going to migrate to 3.2. But I think everybody have there. But it's here something that I need to fix in this slide. So I'll need MySQL 5.7 while I'm upgraded to 2.4.8.5. I already have. I got the MySQL 5.7 and 8.4 here in my machine. Also, I need MySQL newer than 5.7. I recommend using the latest LTS release of MySQL, which is 8.4. I don't need Postgres because I'm using MySQL. I need a backup of the database and the whole installation. I have the backup. And do not delete the backup after the upgrade succeeds. Because if something goes wrong and nobody notices, like, okay, I upgraded, the user said that everything's fine, nothing's missing, but then like after 3 months, oh, here it's missing something in the review. Then you can understand if the data was lost or not, if it's just a bug, whatever. And if it was lost, it's still possible to recover if you have the backup. So it's always good to keep the backup for at least 1 year or whatever. If you can keep forever, it's okay too. It's not going to hurt because disk space, it's very cheap now. Okay, so I have everything there. Sandbox environment, if possible, in another server. Yeah, so here, if you can, you should have like another server to run the upgrade, just to be everything separated, to not damage your production environment. And should be very similar to the production, like the same operational system, same database, same PHP, everything the same to avoid surprises when you're going to do your production upgrade. If you can't, you can just use your own machine or just to create a separated folder and database in your production server. And you just need to be careful with the paths and credentials to not run your test upgrade on the production system and such things. If you are feeling enough courage, you can do it too. I think it's better to have a separated server. Okay, next item. So if the application has third-party plugins, you should write somewhere everything that you are going to need in the newer version. Because maybe you have a plugin in OJS 3.3 that it's not working yet in OJS 3.4, for example. Then is it very important for you, this plugin? If yes, then you can't upgrade. You need to wait someone to update the plugin or to update by yourself or whatever. If it's okay for you, if you don't mind that's missing the plugin, you can proceed, but you need to know all these third-party plugins that you are using, because when you are running the upgrade, you should have a clean code. It shouldn't have this external plugins, because if they are broken, then the upgrade will stop on them. Like, oh, there is one error in this plugin. It's just going to disturb your upgrade. Okay. Yeah, if you did customizations to the codes, you also should save a GIF of them. In our hosting service, we are using JIT, so we are saving all the updates that we do to JIT. So we just need to rebase. If you don't know how to use JIT, then you need to compare your application with the application that you downloaded from PKP. Then you see all the different files that you changed. You should save all these files that you changed, because as I said, you can't have anything different, anything that's not expected in the codes when you are running the upgrade. It should be a clean application without changes, without modifications. Otherwise, you have to understand what's happening by yourself. Here I left a link for the release notebooks. In case you have like programming knowledge, you can see what was modified in each version, and it will be easier for you to update your code. Yeah, here. Left all the things that were changed, like breaking changes. And if you are using any of these things, then you need to update in your code to not have problems. Okay. So yeah, I have my application is clean here. There's all these 3 applications that I downloaded. I took them from the PKP site. They don't have no customization, no extra plugins. And as I said, if you have, you need to remove all of them. They can't be here. Or you have problems. Okay, so I think here the checklist is over, so we can start the upgrade. So we are going to work on the sandbox environment. I don't have a sandbox environment. I'm going to use my own computer. So first you need to restore the backup of the database and the application files. So the upgrade must run on a clean installation. So you really don't need to take all your application files. It just needs the config and the folders public and the folder files, where it's all the files from users, like the articles and etc. All your application code, it doesn't need here for the upgrade. We need really clean installation, because if there is bugs on your codes, if you modified something, it's going to break the upgrade. So we don't need nothing from there, just these 3 things. Let me check if I have them here. So I created one folder upgrades. I downloaded the applications. I have the backup of my old database. I have the files from the users. I have the public files. And I have the config. And also the backup here with everything, in case I make something wrong. I can get back. So yeah, I have everything here. Then I need to restore the backup of the database. So first I will do this. As I'm using a Node database, I need to use the MySQL 5.7. Yeah, it's already here, opened. Let me see if my screen is sharing properly. It is. Let me remove this old database that I don't need. So you should know which encoding your database is using. I will just open here to see which one was being used here. Let me find the code editor. Yeah. So here I can see it was using UTF-8. You can watch this by yourself in your database. You should know what you are using. I don't remember. This database is not mine. I took from the PKP. So I need to create the same char set. So create one database called OJS. I use this char set UTF-8. Okay. Now I'm going to restore the backup there. I'm just using this visual tools because it's easier for me. I don't like to record comments. I'm not a system administrator. I'm a programmer. Okay, so I just get here, restore the database. It should be pretty fast because I'm using a fast computer. I think it's not going to take a long time. And it's not a huge database. Yeah, so it already generated. I can see that all tables are here. So I can go to the next step. Okay, so disable the Acron plugin. Or if you are using the automated tasks using Chrome, then you should comment the task. I don't know what you are using there. In PKP, we are using the Acron plugin. So whenever the any user like opens one page, this Acron plugin, it's trying to run the automated tasks. But I think the best is to use Chrome. If you are, then you should comment the task that's synchronizing running the automated tasks there to avoid accidents like sending automated emails. For example, there is one task that sends reminders for the reviewers. If they didn't review, like in every 30 days, they send one email for them, like, oh, you need to review this article and blah, blah, blah. And you should disable these things to avoid this happening. Because you have like two environments running the same database. There will be the production and your sandbox. Then the production is going to send all these emails, and your sandbox is going to send also the emails, but using probably a bad link like HTTP two dots bar localhost, because you are going to run in your local machine. So you just need to disable the plugin or comment the Chrome. I can't copy here. Settings. Okay, I need to get out. Okay, now I can copy. So just copy the commands to disable the Acron plugin. I'm not using Chrome. Or if you are using Windows, there must be scheduled tasks. Yeah, this task scheduler instead of Chrome. You should disable there. Okay, I'll go to the database and run this command. Let me remove all these things first. Oops. Pressed the wrong button. Okay. So here it's just disabling the plugin in the database. So I executed, it updated one row. So it should be okay now. No, no automated tasks should be running if I open the OJS interface. Okay, so this is ready. Then I go to the step 3. ensure the sandbox cannot send emails. Yeah, to avoid the type of problem that I said. Like maybe your users are going to test your sandbox to create reviews or whatever, and then it's going to send real emails for the other people. I think it's not interesting. So you should disable the SMTP or just to set up a badge configuration in OJS. You can go to the config file, for example, then you go to this SMTP and you can use something that doesn't exist here. For example, like SMTP, whatever, where is the port? I don't know. Yeah, here this username, you could put username that doesn't exist, then it will fail to send. Because there is no better way in older OJS to disable the emails. Or you can just disable your server. I don't know. Here I'm using a local machine. I don't have even a mail server here, so I don't need to disable anything. So I can go to the next step. Let me make, oops. Okay, so the next step, you should delete the search index data to speed up the process. Like if you try to run the upgrade, the search data, it's going to be very slow, and all this data can be removed because this information is built based on the PDFs and the data that's inside the database, so we can regenerate later. I'm going to show, of course, how to regenerate this data. So just to make the upgrade faster, especially because you are just testing the upgrade, you just want to know if everything's going to work. You don't want to stay waiting hours and hours, so you should just clear these tables. And here there are two different commands for OJS2 and OJS3. I'm using OJS2 yet, so I copy this one in the top. You see that just the names of the tables were changed, but it's basically the same thing. I'm going to run them here. I can maybe, let me see, maybe this database is already empty, then I even don't need to run these commands. No, it's not empty, there are some records here. So I can remove everything because this data will be regenerated after we finish the upgrade. It's just used to search. When the user is searching for an article in the front end, it's using these tables. If you are using OJS3, then you should run the other variation. Okay. So I executed this command. Okay, if you are just testing the upgrade, you can also truncate the table metrics, notifications, notification settings. They can also be huge, and anything that's huge and you remove should make the upgrade to run faster. And here is just if you are testing the upgrade. This data, it's not going to be regenerated. You need to keep it. But if you are just testing, like me, I'm just testing here, I will just erase everything to be faster. So in the production, you shouldn't run this. You lose all the statistics. Yeah, these metrics, it's storing when the user view the articles, so it's used to generate charts of accesses. The notifications of the system you shouldn't remove. It's everything important. We cannot regenerate this data. But I'm just testing. I'm going to remove everything that I can to make the process faster. Run everything. Okay, I'll go to the next. Here it's very important. All tables of the database should be using this engine InnoDB. But as I wrote here in the top, it's just for MySQL. This step. If you are not using MySQL, then it doesn't exist. This engine. In Postgres, it doesn't have engines. Here I just left one command that will generate like another command for you, just to simplify your life. Otherwise, you would have to enter in every table and check if all of them are using InnoDB and change each one. So I'm going to show how it works. Let me copy here. And I left in bold everything that you should change in your command before you run. So I need to change the database name here. It will work if I run this way. So you should really have some attention while you are doing this. So the name of my database is OJS. I updated here. It's everything okay, so it should be empty. I will create one fake table just to show how it should work. Like I'll create here badge table, and I'll use another engine instead of InnoDB. So add one field. Okay. So now I have one table that's not using the InnoDB. And if I run the command again, then now it generated one command just to update this badge table. Then if you have a lot of such tables, there will be a huge list here. You should copy all of them, then you execute here. It will just update the engine for you. And if I enter here in the badge table, it should have now the right engine. Yeah, you can see here in the top, it's using InnoDB now, so it's right. It's just to simplify your life. So I don't need this table, I will remove. I just set it to test. Okay. I'll get back here. I don't know if Maria shared the slides, but it's useful to copy these comments.
We already see the slides.
Okay. So here it's another step if you are using MySQL, just to ensure the database using the charset UTF-8, because in very old versions of OJS, I think it was using Latin 1 or something like that. It's better to use UTF-8. It supports more characters. Like if users from China, they can create articles, or any other country that has like this weird characters, like Russian, etc. So let me read here. Ensure the database is using UTF character set. The queries that follow are using the char set UTF-8 and the correlation UTF-8 general CI. Okay. If you are using MySQL bigger than 8, I'm not now. I'm using the 5.7. Then it would be better to use the new char set. It's UTF-8 and B4, the name, and also different collation. The difference, it's just that it supports more characters. For example, there are like new emoticons. If your user try to save an article using this emoticon, it's going to show one error there, and it's not possible to fix. Yeah, but if you are using this char set, it's going to work because it knows that this character exists. And the collation, it's just changing how the database sorts the rows and how it try to find things when you are searching. And here I think the best is to use the AI. Oops. The AI means accent is insensitive. So it will ignore if the letter has accent. Like if you have a open notepad here, just to give an example. Yeah, if you have like all these variations of A, and you try to search with accent insensitive, then if you search for A, it will find all of these three things. If you search by A, it will find all of these three. But if you are not using this accent insensitive, then it will just find one. If you type this one in the search, it will just find this one. it's not very generic, so it's bad to search. It's much better to use accent insensitive. And here the CI means case insensitive. So it's basically the same, but it's about the case. So if you are using big A or this lowercase a, to consider it's all the same. It's good to search this way. Okay, so I just need to ensure my database is using UTF-8, and I left one command the bottom to update my database if it's not using. So I will copy. I need to change the things in bold. The database name. Here I'm not going to change the UTF-8 because I'm not using my SQL bigger than 8 yet. I'm going to use later. Okay, so I'm going to run this command. OJS. Yeah. My database is already using UTF-8, so in fact, I don't need to run this, but I'm going to run. You can run many times. It's not going to give error. Okay. So now my database is using UTF-8. So I can move to the next. Here's just another query to ensure that all the tables are using the UTF-8 char set too. Because in MySQL, you can have, there's the char set configuration for the database, for the table, and for each column can have a different char set. So you should ensure that everything is using the same character set and the same collation. If you don't make it, then there will be errors in the application. So it's important, this. Okay, I'll copy all these things. Here I'm using this chart set, this collation. I just need to update the database. Okay. So database OJS. Just need to run all together because here there are like some variables and they are going to be used here. I'll just copy all together. It didn't generate nothing because all my tables are already using the right chart set. I could change here one table, for example. I can change maybe this one. Change the chart set to something else. Maybe better to create another. I don't want to break my data. Create the test table using right engine, but different char sets. We'll choose whatever, Latin one, for example. Can't create this. Strange. There's one error in the command to create the table. Try to copy and run by myself. It's because I didn't add any field. Okay, now I see the problem. Okay, I'll add one field. Let me get back. So now this command should generate one command to fix the char set of this table. Yeah, now it appeared here. If you have a lot of tables using the wrong char set, there will be a long list here. Then you copy and execute the commands to just update the character set of this bad table. If I enter there, it should be okay now. It's test table. Okay. Yeah, now it's using UTF-8. So it was updated properly. I remove it because it shouldn't be here. Okay, I'll go to the next step. And here it's basically the same, but it's going to check the fields. Every field of every table should be using UTF-8. I'm going to copy the commands again. Just need to update the database name. Here again, all my tables, all the fields, everything's using UTF-8. So I'm going to create again another fake table here, like badge table. Now I'll use the right char set. I'll leave UTF-8, the right collation. I think it's general CI. Let me see here. UTF-8 general CI. I think I can increase the size of the text. Okay, let me just create one column with a badge character set, because it's possible here. For example, this column, badge, column. Okay, I can change the char set to be Latin 1. Okay. Okay, so it created the table. Now it should appear just this table here when I run the command. Yeah. So it's basically the same as the previous slide. If you have something bad, you should copy and run here. See, alter table, badge table, modify badge column, and blah, blah, blah. Just fixing the character set. So, okay, you execute, and it should be okay. Okay, I'll go to the next step. So now I should extract the application files of the version that I'm going to upgrade. It's okay to create a folder for each one and just update the configuration to point to the same database and the same files and public directory. Example, I just left the example here. The folders that you can create for each application. I already made this here. I have an application folder with the OJS 2.4.8.5, 3.2.1.5, and 3.4, blah, blah, blah. I already extracted the files, so they are here. I don't need to do nothing in this step. Extra steps for OJS 3.2. I'm not going to upgrade to OJS 3.2 yet, so I will skip. Okay, so here I should check, run a diff to check the differences between the old configuration and the new configuration. There is one template configuration for each application, so you can see the things that were added, and you should compare both to fix if you are missing something. Yeah, just to understand if some settings were added, removed, or modified. There is documentation about this in OJS. I think it's in the release notes that I opened before. Let me see here. Yeah, here you can see all of such notes. There is. The connections char set was updated. You can see all of these things here. There is also one file in the application. I will open here first. Just choose show an example. Let me enter, for example, in OJS 3.4. Where is it? Okay, docs, release notes. Yeah, here it's all like configuration changes. So here it's showing the date time formats in the config should be converted to the format specified in here this link. Allowed hosts configuration was added, and here's the reason: to protect against host injection attacks. You can see the GitHub issue, which will be explaining what was the problem. There is one new option to add the CAPTCHA validation when the user is going to log in. one setting was removed. You can see everything that was updated here in the configuration. And every application can have like different changes. Okay, I'll get back to the slides. So I will make this check here. This, E1011. I will copy my original configuration here. And I'll paste in the application that I'm going to upgrade. First, I need to upgrade to OJS 2.4.8.5 because my database is from 2.4.8.2. Okay, so I'll paste here the configuration. Then here there is the template. This file always exists in all the applications. So you can compare your original configuration with the template, and you see everything that was modified. And then you check what do you need to pass to the new one. Here's the new configuration, and here's my old one. I'm just going to update things that make sense. Here I can update, just change the year. I'm going to upgrade, so I can move this. This setting should be off when you are going to upgrade. The base URL, I shouldn't update. This is the right one. As you can see, it was from this installation was from the Gmo project, Gmo how to say Gmo journal, demonstration journal that we keep. So I should keep this URL. I shouldn't put this PKP as FU, so it doesn't make sense to update. The database configurations I also don't need to update. The char set, my one is using the right char set, should be UTF-8, so I don't need to update nothing here. The files, I need to update because here I took this database from a Linux server, and I'm using Windows here. It's just to show that I can run the upgrade from a Linux installation in Windows and should work. So I just need to update the path because here I don't have such path here. I will get the files here from my upgrade folder. So here is the files. Yeah, I'm going to use a Windows folder. Just leave the right bars here. Okay, next change. Here's the encryption of the passwords. I think your OJS maybe will be using MG5 if you are using OJS 2. And this one is better, this SHA-1. And if I'm not mistaken, in OJS 3.4 or 3.5, it was also updated to a better one. But I'm not completely sure. I should double check. But here it's important. This old database was already using SHA-1, which is better. So I'm going to leave this. But if you are using MG5, wait. Yeah, I need to drink some water. So if you are using MG5 and you decide to modify to change to SHA-1, for example, then it will have a side effect. Then after you modify this, then when the user try to log in, it will ask the user to update the password. And that's the side effect. You have more security, but all the users, you have to update their password because we can't regenerate the password. We don't know the real one. Just the user can make it. Then after the user type again his password, it will be using this new encryption mode, which is more difficult to hack if someone gets your database, for example. Okay, Here, I don't need to update nothing because this old database that I have was already using a good encryption. And then you can decide if you want, you can still use your MD5 and then the users will not need to update the password, but it's less unsafe, less safe. You need to decide. It's not my decision. I recommend to update if you can. Okay, I'll go to the next. Here's just one setting that was added. Okay, you should check what the setting doing. What is the setting doing? You can read the documentation. I don't know, and it's not important for me to know now. Here's just small change in the text. Okay, there's no more differences. I saved the new file. I can get out. I'll go to the next step. Ensure the database credentials and the path for the files and the public folder on the config are not pointing to the production files. Yeah, this is very important. Otherwise, you are going to run the upgrade and it will update your production environment. So you should be completely sure that everything's right here. I'm going to double check. Let me see. My configuration. Those the files dir. Yeah, here my files dir is wrong, for example. I need to update, but I'm watching the wrong place. To enter here. Okay. So my files dir is right. My public files dir, it's not right. It should be copy here. Yeah. So now it's the right folder. I use my upgrade bar public folder. What more? The database, I should check if it's using the right credentials. Here it's not my production database. My MySQL 5.7 is running on port, let me see. Yeah, port 3307. So yeah, here's the right port. Here's the right username, a very strong password, ABC123, the right database name, everything's okay. So I review it. So here there's nothing more to do. You can just run the upgrade. Here it's better to, you can run the upgrade using the user interface in the browser, but it's not recommended. If you have a large installation, it's going to maybe timeout because there is a timeout on the Apache or IIS or Nginx. I don't know which server you are using. There's also a timeout in PHP, timeout in the database. So it's better to run in the command line. Then you are going to skip these timeouts. The PHP in the commands line, it doesn't stop. It will stay running forever if it's needed. And here there is one more setting that I added to not limit the memory for PHP. If it needs to use 1 gigabyte, it will use 1 gigabyte. It's just to avoid interrupting the upgrade if it's missing more memory. Okay, so I can run the upgrade. I will copy this command. I'm using a new machine and I didn't try to run this command here yet. I hope it will just work or I'll have to debug. Okay. Let me copy here. Let me enter in this folder. Application 2.4. Yeah. Then let me go back some slides. Okay, so I'm going to upgrade my OJS to the version 2.4.8.5. It supports just PHP 7, MySQL 5.7. Okay. My PHP by default is using 8.2, so it's not going to work with this PHP. I need to use the 7. Okay, let me get back. Okay, my PHP 7 is in another folder here. Yeah, I still have the commands here saved. So it seems to be right. I'm going to use PHP 7.3. Those upgrades. I'm just going to write the check first. Yeah. Call to undefined MySQL connect. So it's using a bad driver, because in this PHP 5.7, 5.7 no, PHP 7.3, I just configured the MySQL I don't have this driver here, MySQL. So I update my driver. See, it's trying to use functions that don't exist in PHP because I don't have this driver here in my PHP. So I changed the driver in the configuration of OJS. Now it should work. Yeah, there is a lot of warnings, but it worked. Here it's saying the code version is 2.4.8.5. The database version is 2.4.8.2. It's right, it's my old database. And here's just showing the latest OJS version that's available to use. We are not going to use this one yet. So I will run the upgrade. Okay, I think it should be fast. Hopefully it will work. Yeah, it worked. So now my database and the files are upgraded to OJS 2.4.8.5. To avoid losing time, you should always create backups for these intermediate steps. Like now you have a working OJS 2.4.8.5. You don't want to run this everything again from beginning if something bad happen later. So it's better to create a backup of all the files and the database. Okay, so I'm going to create a backup here. Key database export. Okay, I'll just backup this database. The data and structure. Let me change one name to be OJS 3.4.8. Oops. Get one name from here, from the application. Yeah. OJS 2.4.8.5.SQL. Export. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, Jonas, while you do the backup, I will translate it for a second. Is it okay?
Okay, it's fast, but I can wait.
Oke. Nah, jadi Bapak Ibu disarankan tadi mulai menggunakan sandbox untuk uji coba. Jangan lupa untuk restore backup database dan file aplikasi. Upgrade-nya dijalankan dengan instalasi yang bersih. Kita hanya butuh config.inc.php, file, dan juga folder publik. Jangan lupa untuk disable akron plugin jika kita masih menggunakan cron, komentas untuk mencegah error. Misalnya email otomatis. Lalu kemudian pastikan sandbox tidak bisa mengirimkan email, SMTP di disable, dan setup konfigurasi email fake. Jangan lupa untuk delete data search index untuk mempercepat proses dengan menggunakan perintah truncate. Jika mau tes hasil upgrade, bisa juga untuk memotong tabel metrik, notification, dan juga notification setting. Pastikan untuk di MySQL, pastikan tabelnya InnoDB, ini harus. Gunakan query ini untuk mengupdate table yang diinginkan saja. Sedangkan database menggunakan karakter set UTF-8, kalau tidak ada, bisa juga untuk UTF-8 General CI. Ada query juga di situ, di slide yang kami sudah bagikan untuk update database. Tadi karena ini masih update dari OJS versi sebelum dari 2.4.8.5, jadi kita skip dulu untuk step tambahan di OJS 3.2.15. Jangan lupa untuk menggunakan div antara config.ing.php yang lama dan yang baru. Pastikan database kredensial dan path untuk file dan folder publik di config PHP tidak menuju ke file produksi. Jalankan PHP upgrade seterusnya. Jika upgrade berhenti di suatu tempat tertentu, coba selesaikan masalahnya dan jalankan kembali upgrade-nya dari tempat tersebut. Ketika semua masalah selesai, jalankan upgrade dengan database yang file yang bersih. Nah, tadi ada notifikasi bahwa ada message successfully upgraded to version 3 titik berapa gitu ya, atau tadi masih di 2.4.8.5. Jika tidak, cek output dari upgrade tool dan error log di PHP. Oke, Jonas, you may continue.
Okay. So here I just created a backup of the database. I should also create a backup of the files, because this public and the files, they can be changed during the upgrade. So you should also create a backup for this. I don't need, but I'll create, because I don't mind. Okay, so create backup here. Create one other folder, 2.4.8. Okay, so here's the files and public that are working if I want to restart from this version again. So it's like I don't need to run the upgrade since the 2.4.8.2. I can start from here if my next upgrade fail. I hope it's not going to fail. Okay, so I'll close this. Let's go to the next step. If the upgrade stops on a specific place, it's possible to retry from where it stopped by editing the file, the base scripts, XML, upgrade.xml. Yeah, so here it's showing like everything that was executed during the upgrade. You can open this file if you want to be here. You should understand what you are doing, or you're going to have problems. But just if you, for example, you are running the upgrade and it stopped just on one of them, yeah, you had error here, so you can stay retrying and fixing the database from where it stopped. So if it executed until here, so you can discard all these other things that comes before, like these reviews, forms, XML. I don't know, to be here. Like, okay, all these ones executed, so I don't need. Then you remove something like that. I'm just trying to share ways on how you can debug faster, but you should have technical knowledge for this. It's better to be a developer. Okay. Then you should see the message successfully upgraded to version blah, blah, blah. If you don't see this message, then probably you had an error, and you should check the output of the commands and also the error log of PHP. It's always good to check the error log, in fact. Can be surprises there. So here I can see the message in the end successfully upgraded to version 2.4.8.5. So it's working fine. But I am going to watch the PHP log just to see if there is something that I should worry here. See warnings. You should inspect well. I'm not going to inspect because I don't have all this time. I'm just going to ignore. But if you see something strange here, like an exception, blah blah, raise it an exception, something like that, then maybe something is wrong. But shouldn't happen. Okay, I'll go to the next step because I can see this message successfully upgraded, so it's okay. Yeah, here it's already to upgrade the production. I'm not going to do this upgrade yet. I'll be just doing test upgrades until I reach OJS 3.4. I even don't have a production environment here, so I'm going to get back to the beginning. Let me see the table here. Yeah, now I have the version. Okay, so now I have the version 2.4.8.5, and now I need to upgrade to 3.2.1.5. It's the latest OJS 3 release that can upgrade an OJS 2 installation. I still have an OJS 2 installation, so now I'm going to move to OJS 3. And it supports PHP 7, and here I already can use a newer MySQL database. So I'm going to do it. Okay. Go to the upgrade checklist. I have everything here. I have the applications. I have the PHP, the MySQL. I already made the backup of the database and the files. I didn't delete the backup. I already have my environment. I don't have plugins and etc. I have a clean application. I don't have customizations. Okay, now I can restore the backup and the application files. So I'm going to move to the new MySQL database. So I'm going to restore the database backup in the new MySQL. I am going here to use this MySQL 8.4 already. I'll create a database here. OJS, as I wrote before. Where is it? Yeah, here. Where is the here? Okay, so if I'm using MySQL bigger than 8, I can use this new char set. So it's better. I'm going to use this one. It's UTF-8 MB4. Okay, it's the last one. Declaration UTF MB4 0900 AICI. Let me find this one. Oh, it's difficult to see here. I think it's this one. In fact, I use the default and then I will check later if it's right. Can't see well. Okay, created the database. Difficult to see. Where can I see this information? Yeah, here I can see. The full collation UTF-8 MB4 0900 AICI. So it's right collation, right char set. Now I will restore the database in this MySQL 8.4. I already created one backup, so I'm just going to import from there. I created separated file. I don't like this way. I will generate the backup again. Yeah, I put like this dump project folder. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm just going to generate again the backup with a single SQL file. Okay, it's even faster. So, okay, now I can restore just one file. Yeah, here's the database 2.4.8.5. It's already upgraded to this version. Okay, I'll select the database. It should import pretty fast because I removed a lot of data. Okay, so now I have a database using MySQL 8.4. So go back to the steps. Was here. Restore the backup and the application files. Okay, everything's in the place already. The upgrade must run the clean installation. Oops, where did I go? Okay. We just need the config, the public files, disable the Acron plugin. It's already disabled. I didn't enable, so I don't need to run this step again. Cannot send emails, my sandbox. I already removed the search index. I don't need to run this step again. I'm just testing, but I already executed these commands, so I can skip. Here, I know that the database is already using InnoDB, so I can skip this step. Ensure the database is using UTF-8 character set. It's already using UTF-8, but now I changed the to UTF-8 MB4. The database is right because I created my database using the new char set. But if you forgot, you can execute again. It's okay. My one will be right, but I'm going to run again anyway. And here it's not using UTF-8 anymore. We change it to UTF-MB4. And the char collation UTF-MB4 0900 AICI. So you can run, it updated the database. Okay, I'll go to the next. Yeah, here is to update the tables. Now I should see a lot of items because my tables are using another char set. When you update the char set of the database, it's not updating things in cascade. So the tables, the columns, they are still using the char set that came from the backup. So I need to run this command. Copy here. This one's to update the tables. I need to update here this variable, this one, and the database name. Okay, let me copy from the previous slide. Database name OJS. So here it will just generate like commands to update all the tables to use the right char set. So I'll just copy all, place here, and it should work. Yeah, you can see it's updating all tables. It should be fast. So I don't have much data here. Okay. Now go to the next. The next was to update the columns. I think the columns of my database are using the full char set. So if the table is using UTF-8, the column will be UTF-8. So I think this command will be empty to be everything right. Okay, OJS. Let me get back here. Just use. I think everything will be right already. Yeah, so I don't need to update nothing. I'm not going to test again because I already showed that this command is working. I'll move to the next step. Extract the application files of the version which you are going to. I already have the folder of the application. I can skip. Yeah, now this is useful for me. I'm going to upgrade to OJS 3.2. So here I left some information. You need to apply this patch below if you are downloading the application from our site instead of GitHub. There is one problem regarding the article's cover page. I don't remember exactly what happens, but this last update is not included in the package that we have in the site. I can open here the link. And it's just this. I will save this GIF file in my upgrade folder. Yeah, and now I'm going to upgrade to 3.2.1.5, so I'll save there. Fix the extension. Okay, I save it. I can even enter in the GitHub to see what happened, why this last commit was added. And find here this branch, stable 3.2.1. It will be the last commit here. Yeah. Okay, so I can see that article cover pages are not preserved during the upgrade. So looks like if you don't apply this patch, the cover pages of the article can be lost. So it's important. So if you downloaded the application from GitHub, if you are using GitHub to manage your application, you probably will have already this fix. But if you took the application from the site, yeah, if you download it from here, from this tar.gz, it's too old. You can see here the date. It's from 2022. And the fix is from 2023. So this fix is newer than this file here. So it doesn't have the fix. So if you downloaded this package, you need to apply this patch. I downloaded from here just to give an example that how to apply the patch. Okay, so I'll get back to the slides. Okay, so apply the patch below if you're downloading. I already downloaded this patch, so I'm going to apply. Okay, I'll enter here in the application. Here's this file that I downloaded. Here's the changes that were made. I just need to apply the patch. You can make command line, whatever. It doesn't work. Should just work the patch. Okay. Here you can see the things that will be changed. I can patch all the items. Okay, I'll save. Close. Now my installation is fixed. This is important just for the upgrade. Okay, there is another item here. The supplementary files feature was removed. So if you're using this feature in OJS 2, it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, here it's saying that in OJS 2, such files, they were public. Unless you disabled this reading tools, which I even don't know what it was. It was a kind of plugin, I think. So the upgrade by default will migrate such files as public galleys. So if you have supplementary files in your article, they will become public galleys in OJS 3. But if you have something private there, these supplementary files, and you'd like to migrate them in a private way, to be not public, to not be visible by users, then you need to apply this patch that I left below. If you don't mind, if these files they should be public, then you don't need to do anything. It's okay. I will apply the patch just to show how it works. And the side effect is that if I apply the patch, is that the supplementary files they will be imported as submission files instead of galleys. So the journal manager, the author of the article, they will be able to see the files, but normal users, they won't see anything. Okay, I'll open the link. Yeah, here I left some description. I don't need to read because I already know what it's doing. I'll just download the patch here. I'll place in the upgrade folder of this application 3.2.1.5. It's here, supplementary files.patch. Here I can see the changes. I'll just apply. Okay, you can see that two files were changed. This upgrade inc and the upgrade.xml. I'll patch all of them. Sorry, it's saved. I'll close. Okay, so I can go to the next step. Yeah, so here the only important item is the first one. The second, it's optional. Okay, so now I need to make again the diff between the configuration file and the new one. I'm not going to take the original config file from my old installation because I already have an upgraded one with the new settings. So I'm going to copy that one and compare with the configuration of the new version of the 3.2. So enter here in my upgraded folder. There is the config that I updated already. I'll move, placing the new application that I'm going to upgrade and compare with the template to see everything that was added, removed, or whatever. So here's just text that was modified. Okay. Here, the base URL, I don't need to change. This is just text that was removed. And one setting too was removed. Okay. Everything that was removed, you can just remove because it's not going to work anymore. You just need to have attention with things that were added or modified. So here, something that was added, you need to check. Here, something that was modified and added to. Yeah, there is now a new time zone setting. Yeah, so I'm going to use, let me see back. Yeah, this time zone. And there is, this settings appeared in the time zone. I will use UTC as my time zone, but you can use another. Here there's from where you can take the possible values. There will be time zone from Europe, from Asia, whatever. Just use the right time zone in the dates of the system. So, okay, I'm going to use UTC, which is the Greenwich time zone. Here just text was changed. This setting is important. It's to fix a security issue. It's allowed hosts. You should add the hosts that your journal is listening to. Like if you have journal.com, you should add here. And if it's a multi-installation journal, you have many different hosts, you should add all of them here. Like journal.com, journala.com, whatever. All the hosts that you have should be added here. If you leave empty, it will accept anything. So I can create, for example, a fake domain like whatever, pkp.journal, and I can point this fake domain to your installation, and it will open your journal using my domain. So I don't think it should work, and this setting it's helping to avoid such problem. But all these new settings you need to review. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'll just copy what makes sense here. So the database, I don't need to update. Yeah, in fact I need. And there is a new setting of the database. I need to update too. And you need to be careful with these settings. So before I was using MySQL 5.7 and it was working this port. Now I'm using MySQL 8.4. It's not working on this port. It's using the full port 3306. So I can update here, or I can just remove because it's the full port that OJS is going to use. So now it's right to be using the MySQL 8.4. There's this new setting that I added now. This collation is wrong. I using another database collation. I need to get from, can copy from here. Okay, updated the collation. Connection share set. Yep. Here I need to update too the connection share set. I'm not using UTF-8 anymore. I'm using UTF-MB4. This one's disappeared, the settings. So everything that disappeared, you can just remove. Here it's right, the paths. Here there's a new setting to limit the size of the user folder so they can't upload a lot of files. Then if you need if you need to allow the users to upload a lot of images here, then you can increase the size. I think it's just used for images that are uploaded in the like the profile of the user. So you don't need a lot of space here. I missed something. Okay, I'll just copy fast or I'll be too slow. This API secret is important. I will add anything here. I'm not going to review everything. Buttons here, not important for me. Email settings are not important for me. I'm not using an email server. Just text. Here, yeah, changed a lot of settings regarding the captcha. There's the public key. I'm not using reCAPTCHA, so I don't need to change nothing here. These tools are not needed anymore. Removed. Another removed setting or removed things. Okay, so I updated my configuration. Let's continue. Okay. So I need to ensure the database credentials and the path for the files and public folder are not pointing. It's okay. I can run the upgrade now. So I'll copy this. Okay, already wrote here in the Code editor. So go to the other folder. Let me see if I can increase here. I don't know how to increase this interface. Yeah, maybe it's better this way. Go to the other folder because now I'm going to upgrade the 3 to 3.2.1.5. I already have backups, so if something goes wrong, I can restore the backup of the 2.4.8.5 and restart from there instead of from the beginning. Okay, I'm in the right folder. The configuration is here, the database is right, the files are okay, they are here. I can just run the upgrades. The OJS 3.2, it still needs PHP 7, so I need to use PHP 7. I'm going to use 7.3. I can run the upgrade check just to see if it's going to work. Hopefully it will work. Yeah, something happened here. Let's see the log.
Bapak dan Ibu, sambil menunggu Jonas mencari PHP check-nya, jadi ini Jonas sedang mencoba untuk melakukan upgrade dari OJS 2.4.8.5 ke 3.2.1.5. Nah, pastikan semua datanya aman. Kita juga tinggal mengulang saja dari upgrade resepi itu tadi. Nah, sebelum menjalankannya, Jonas juga harus meyakinkan bahwa PHP-nya juga sesuai gitu dengan requirement-nya tadi. Jadi harus ada di PHP 7 gitu. Nah, ini Jonas sedang proses untuk mengecek apakah PHP-nya oke atau tidak untuk dijalankan di OJS 3.2.1.5.
Okay, so here looks like the authentication failed. In my SQL, there's a like, I don't know how to explain, but there's different type of authentication. Maybe you have to update your MySQL database to use the old authentication. It's something of a system administrative thing that needs to be done, and I think I didn't do here. I hope my PHP 4 7.4 is configured to use the new authentication, but I'm not sure. I will check now. Yeah, my PHP 7.4 is configured to use the right authentication, so it works. But my 7.3 is not, so I would need to change the authentication type in my SQL database. I don't want to make it. I even don't remember how to change this. But that's it. You would have to debug what's happening. Let me see if I can find it easily. I think it's maybe here. Yeah, here's this authentication type. I don't know if it's visible, but there's this caching SHA-2 password. It's like a new authentication of MySQL. It's safer, but the old PHP, I think, doesn't support. So if you are going to use a old PHP, like the 7.3, you need to change the authentication and use an old one. There's like native, MySQL native. I don't remember what's the old one, but it's something that can happen. The PHP 7.4 supports this new authentication type, so that's why now it's working here. I'm going to use this PHP 7.4 to make the upgrade. Okay, I run the check. Here it's showing the version of the code. The code is 3.2.1.5. The database version, it's using the 2.4.8.5, and the latest, which I'm not going to use yet. Okay, so run the upgrade. Hopefully it will work. Here there's a lot of warnings, like it didn't find some files. So it's the why it's good to watch the log of PHP. If you see that something's wrong here, you should fix. Like I really don't have these files and there's nothing I can do. Maybe they were missing the server. Okay, there's nothing more important. Yeah, there will be a lot of warnings that can be ignored. It's just like programming coding mistakes that shouldn't exist, but they exist, but they are not creating huge problems. Yeah, it's running the upgrades. So something failed here. It's saying data too long for the column contents. This notes, blah, blah. Wait. I remember I had created this bug intentionally just to show how you need to debug problems that can happen in the upgrade. So you need to see what's the upgrade trying to do and fix the problem. Here I can see that this column has too much characters there, and unfortunately I have to remove because I think I added like 5,000 characters to one column that should be small, and I need to fix this before running the upgrade, or it's just going to break. And here you can see where it stopped. It's in stellar convert editor decision notes, so you can search for this in the code. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no something to search here, but okay. Search for this. Just in this folder, 3.2.1, 3.5. So you can see that it refers to this thing here, and here's the code that's running this upgrade. So you should have technical knowledge to understand what's happening, or you're just going to be blocked. And if you don't have the technical knowledge to fix the problems, you need to write in the forum, share the error message that you have, like from this PHP log. Yeah, you should share all the log that you have, and someone should be able to help you. So I know it failed in something like here. I need to check. Okay. Let me find where is this huge data. I think it's this test maybe. Or not. There's just something that should be huge here. It's not in this. Let's see here. Not here too. Um, hmm. Well, well, well. Strange, I can't find this record. It's too much data. Mm. Okay, from the comments. This from results. Yeah, it should be here. One of these two tables. Oops. Yeah, but I don't know which one is this problem. It's calling the date. Or in fact, I can just clear this field to leave it very small. And it should work. The date. Dates from the date posted. Date posted, okay. 2028, 8, 26, 26. I think it's this record here that has problem. Yeah, it's really huge. So it has too much data and doesn't support. I'm sorry that I forgot to keep this detail here. So I had to debug by myself. It's on the table, submission comments. Yeah. Submission comments. What's this? How to open this? It's really huge. Okay, so I'll add one command to fix this. Date. I'll just clear the fields. Because it's not important for me. But if it was production data, you would have to understand here and ask your editor, like, oh, this field, it's too big for the database. We need to reduce the content. And they have to make it smaller, unfortunately. So as the upgrade failed, I could just fix this part, remove everything that came before. I don't want to make this, and just run from where it stopped, but I'm not going to make. I'll just restart from beginning. So I will restore again the database, and then I'll just fix this problem in this fields after I restore the backup. Okay, so I have to remove the database again. I'll just make things automatically to not lose much time. Port. I don't need. Okay, so now I'll just update this field. I will clear the contents, but in fact, you should check with your editor if it's important. See if it's still here. Okay. Yeah, it's another name before. Comments. Okay, so here's the field. I'll just clear the content. I could set just something smaller to work too. Then, as the upgrade failed, you should restore the files from the backup. So I'll restore here the public and the files. My upgrade folder. I should remove everything because maybe there's something new. I'm just not going to remove because I'm in a hurry. I'll just replace whatever exists there. Now I can run again the upgrades. Okay, let me clear the log just to be empty. I already updated everything in the database. I think I can create a backup here to not make all these steps again if something fail again. Let me see here, that export. I'll put here database, pre, 3.2.1.5. Okay, so now I have a backup. If there is something more wrong, I think there was nothing. Then I can get back where it was. And that's the sad part of upgrading, because you can face such problems. And if you don't have technical knowledge, you are going to suffer for maybe a long time. So it's better to not suffer and just forward the problem to PKP. And we are going to help if anything.
Okay, Jonas, while waiting, there are several questions. The first one is from Pak Rifki. He got error. It's called fatal error, uncount error. Call to a member function get from 3.0 to 3.2. He already tried to 3.1, but still have the same error. He also already searched in the PKP forum, but didn't find the answer until now. Can you help?
So if he didn't find anything that can help, he should like create a new post there in the forum with his error, and then someone can help, because maybe he has like a orphan data in the database and can create problems that you should fix. It's not possible for me to know what's happening. It will be like the same that I'm doing now. I have to watch the error and have access to the database to see what's wrong. And I don't have access to his database, so it can be difficult to understand what's happening. He really need to write in the forum about specific errors like this.
Okay.
But
Yeah, Pak
then
Rifki,
we can help. Yeah, but maybe he will have to share his data with us, or you have to stay running like some queries, like okay, now run this query and check what do you see and send to us. We have to make this ping pong until we find what's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Pak Rifki, yeah.
But we are able to
Rifki.
help with any kind of problem.
Ya, oke. Pak Rifki, sarannya dari Jonas, diposting aja di forum PKP, Pak. Nanti akan segera dijawab oleh tim developer. Dan ini bakal jadi masukan juga nanti mungkin di presentasinya Jonas berikutnya, karena nanti ada beberapa error message yang ini, fatal error yang ini belum ada di sana. Jadi nanti kalau sudah ada solusinya, kita bisa tambahkan. Gitu. Ini kalau kita bisa lihat di sini, akhirnya kita successfully upgrade itu version 3.2.1.5. Is it correct, Jonas?
What?
We already successfully upgraded to version 3.2.
Yeah, there was just this error that I introduced, but I forgot because I didn't try to upgrade again after the last workshop. But yeah, it was expected. I just should have already the query in hands, then I wouldn't waste so much time. But that's what can happen. Like you are upgrading, maybe things will just work, but if it doesn't work, then you are going to suffer a bit. That there is no way to escape from that. And if you don't have technical knowledge or if you don't have time, you can just write in the forum. Someone's going to help.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea I wanted to pass. And you see, I really solved the problem now. I didn't remember where I added the problem, so I had to read the message, watch the codes, understand what's trying to do, and understand from where it's coming the data, what's the problem, and then I could fix.
Yeah.
And I made a dirty fix. In fact, I should ask like, oh, is this data important? Now OJS doesn't support so much characters in this field. Then I would have to add a customization to increase the field, or I would have to ask the user to reduce the data, to make a summary, or to remove some words or whatever. But
Oh,
yeah, that's the type of things that can happen. In general, we don't have such problems. As far as I saw. I mean, there are people in our hosting team. They are just upgrading. Things are normally working on the first pass. And when it doesn't work, then I have to help or another more skilled coworker that we have there. Okay, so the
yeah.
upgrades worked. The database upgraded to 3.1.5. The files are also upgraded to work with this version. So we should again create a backup of everything, the database and the files. So create here. I'll change the name. It's database 3.2.1.5. Okay, I'll backup the files again, just the public and the files here. I'll create another folder here, 3.2.1.5. Okay, so now I'm going to upgrade to 3.4. Then if something goes wrong, I can restore from the backup and I won't lose a lot of time. Okay, I'll get back to the steps. Here I have everything. My application is already on the place. It's here 3.4.0.5. I think it's not the latest, but it's okay. Let me see which one's the latest, just out of curiosity. Okay. Yeah, the last 3.4 is 3.4.0.8 and not 5. So there is a newer version. I should use it, but I already have here the files. I'm going to use this one. Okay, go back to the steps. So I have the application. Go to the next page. I have the PHP 8.2, which is required. Okay, PHP version. Yeah. I have the PHP 8.2.15. So it should work. My MySQL is updated already. I'm already using 8.4. Okay, I already made the backup. I am not going to remove the backup. Sandbox is ready. Files too. There's no customizations. Okay, store the backup of the database and the application files. It's already restored. The database is already online. The files are in the place. So just need to update the config, I think. Yeah, the Acron plugin, it is still disabled. I didn't enable yet. I can't send emails. The search index data, it's still empty. I can double check. Can just check if there is records in this table. It will be empty. Yeah, there is 0 rows. So everything is empty. I don't need to remove here too because it's empty. I don't need to update the char set anymore. it's already using the best one. I can skip all these steps regarding the char set. Extract the application files. I already made it. These steps just for 3.2.1 I can skip. I'm going to upgrade now to 3.4. Then I can run the GIF between the old configuration and the new one of 3.4. So I'm going to do this step. I'll copy the configuration from the 3.2.1.5 because it's already updated there. Okay. Now you compare with the configuration of the OJS 3.4. There will be some differences. Yeah. I'll just review what's important for me. You should review everything that's added or modified. Let's see, the does exist. Okay. That's right. The collation's right. I don't need to update. This settings appeared. Here there is something important. The locale of the OJS was modified. And this N underline United States doesn't exist anymore. A lot of locales were changed. So you should update your one. Here's the full locale of the application, like the full language. You can watch here in the folder locale, the available languages. They just changed the names. Like instead of having English of United States, English of England, they decided to unify. So now there's just one English. It's the same for everybody. Just to simplify the life of the translators. So if your one didn't change, because some locales didn't change. For example, the French, there's still two versions. There's from the Canadian French and the French from France. It didn't change. The Spanish from Mexico, it's still here. You need to watch what you were using before and what it became. Here I'm using English, so this doesn't exist anymore. I need to update. I need to use the new one to be this English. Here, just EN. Okay. The setting doesn't exist. You can remove. Here's just text that was removed. Here is right char set of the connection, the database. The folders are right. Here just small typo. This documentation. This I don't need to update. Not important to remove things I can remove without thinking. Email settings I don't need to watch. Yeah, more email settings. Something for the search that was removed. New setting to add caption on login. If you don't want, you should disable. The settings appeared, others appeared, or here there's a lot of new settings. This is regarding the queries. It's the part of the application that's running like the background jobs. So there's a lot of settings here. It might be interesting for you to watch. Like there's limits of memory you can change, of the time, how much time it can stay running, etc. I'm just going to copy to use the default, and it should be okay. There is nothing more for me to update here. It's right collation chart, right collation, right char set, right public files, right database, right host. Everything's okay. I think that from Indonesia it's this IG, just to be helpful. Before it was what? Yeah, before it was IG underline IG. So you should, if you are using IG in your default locale, the config, then you should change to this IG. Yeah, and if you don't change, then what's going to happen? Like the OJS won't find this old locale, and it will start using the English one by default. That's the only problem to create. Okay, I'll go back to the slides. So I made this step. Ensure the database credentials, the path, it's right. So I can run the upgrade again. 3.4. So let me access I did the book here. This folder. Oops. I changed my language. 3.4. Okay. I can run the check. Now I don't need to run with PHP 7 anymore. Oops. Yeah, I was running before this command. Now it's not needed because the OJS 3.4, it works with PHP 8.2, which is the one I have here. 8.2.15. So I can just run the upgrade. I'm going to run the check first, just to see if everything makes sense. So the version of the code is 3.4.0.5. The database is using 3.2.1.5. And the latest version available is this one. I could use it, but I don't want to download again. So I'll just run the upgrade. If something fail, I can restore the backup. If not, then we are done. Okay. I'll leave the log opened to see the message. Yeah, here there's a lot of errors regarding missing files. The upgrade is not going to fail, but it's just sending an alert for you. There's a lot of missing files in my application. Here there is one important message. Look, failed to migrate the settings entity objects for review settings. This is from a Node plugin of OJS 2. We are not using this plugin anymore, so it doesn't matter that it failed. It just tried to update this table, but it's not possible. You could send this error to the forum to ask what it's happening. I know what's all about. I know it's from a Node plugin, and it doesn't matter that it failed. I can even remove this table. It's not going to break the system. I can go there in the database. There must be a lot of these objects. Yeah, there's a lot of tables here, like objects for review settings, objects for review persons. I don't have this plugin anymore. I could just remove these tables. There are tables from one plugin. But okay, this error wasn't enough to fail the upgrade, so it continue. Then let me see if there's enough. Yeah, there's nothing more, just this error. Then here it's just showing like all the fixes and features that were added to the application. It's a lot of things. So, and it was successfully upgraded to 3.4. And after this version, I think after 3.3, the failures in the upgrade should be not common because the code is much better now. There are more workers. We are reviewing the code, so there should be less problems. Yeah, I think that's all. I will move to the next slide. Okay, so if the upgrade stops on a specific place, it's possible to retry. Okay, it's upgraded. Okay, so now my test upgrade worked fine. I can do a production upgrade. Then I think I left some notes here. So to upgrade the production, you should set up a maintenance page with HTTP status maybe for 500 to tell the search engines that you have an error, just to not index the maintenance page. And you can leave a small explanation for the users like, our system is down for maintenance and we are expecting to be online again in 3 hours or whatever. There's nothing you can do. There are plans to create a kind of read-only interface in OJS, so the users can still like access everything to see the articles, but they will be blocked to change something. But it's not so easy to make and it will take some time. There are just plans for that I was suggesting. But while it doesn't exist, you just can create this maintenance page and do your upgrade. So it's the why you should find a good time to do the upgrade, like when there's very few users using, maybe in the morning of weekends, I don't know, or another month where people are not using a lot the system. Okay, so before shutting down the server, you should ensure that the tasks are finished. Yeah, you can watch the entries on these scheduled tasks, and they should have a not very recent date. I can just take a look on this table. Okay. Yeah, you can check here. There's not many tasks in this database. I can see when they were executed last time. So it's some hours ago, so I don't need to run again. I think they finished executing. Yeah, just to leave the backup accessible, because you can't say that you have a backup until you test your backup. There's always problems like, oh, okay, I have a backup. Then you're going to open the file and it's broken or you don't have access. So ensure that it's accessible and very close to your production environment so you can restore faster. Then you need to execute the upgrade recipe with all the checkboxes and all the steps that we passed before. And then after the upgrade is over, you can take over finally the Acron plugin to allow it to run. I will copy this command. And if you are using Chrome, then you should enable the task in the Chrome. I'm not using Chrome, so I'll just enable this task here. So it updated the records. So now if I open the user interface of OJS, it will start running the automated tasks again. Then you can remove the maintenance page and store the backup for a couple of months or years or forever if you want. Yeah, if you want to upgrade the MySQL, just saying to generate a backup of the old version. Yeah, here it's just the steps that I made before. Like I generated a backup of the old database that was in MySQL 5.7, and I restored on the backup on the MySQL 8.4. then you need to update the char set. That's the steps that I made before to update the database. So I already talked about it. I can skip. Okay, so if everything worked fine, you can finally restore the plugins and customizations that you have on your installation. So if you had like extra plugins, now it's the time to install them again. And of course, you should get the plugins that are working with the OJS 3.4 or whatever version that you decided to use. And the code customizations maybe to be more difficult to make, but of course you should also make a diff with your customizations before doing the upgrade. You can't bring the customizations just now. You should already have everything ready, just waiting to copy some files in the end. That's why it's important to have the sandbox to test everything, to let your users to use the system, check if everything's working fine before you do the production upgrade. Yeah, and now it's time to rebuild the search index. This will recover those tables that I cleared before. It should be a very slow step. I can run it here, but it's not important for me. Yeah, build, it's right. Then you should run. So this will just restore the contents of the search databases. If you don't make it, then if the user searches something in the site, it's not going to display anything to be empty just after you run this rebuild the search command. Okay, so I think everything's ready. Then you just need to run like manual tests, like to create a submission, to access everything, try to publish, etc. Then it's okay. Don't need to do anything more. And all users can use the system. Okay, here I added like for local tests, I can run this like local server that PHP offers. You can choose any port that you want. But if you already have a server, you don't need to run this. It's good just to test. I will run here. So command. Okay, here it was just indexing. This indexing happens in the background. So it just runs and quits. Okay, so I'll just start the server to run on this port 8080. I should be able to access here. It's local, yeah, 107. One thing that I forgot to change. As I changed the configuration of the config, let's say if the application it's installed or not. We go here. There's one. There's this setting installed. If you leave it disabled, then you see this interface when you try to access the site, like the installation interface. Now I don't need it anymore. I can say that the application is already installed. So if I access again, it should show the journal content. Yeah, so it's migrated, everything working. You can see it's using OJS 3.4.0.5, and it's okay. Then the editors just need to review the new settings to maybe, for example, here it would be needed to change the title from OJS 2.4.8. It doesn't make sense anymore. There is a lot of things that maybe the editors will have to change. Like there's new settings of the theme, like can change colors, etc. I'm not going to cover this here because you can check the documentation of OJS. Okay, I will just give some maintenance tips. I think it's good to subscribe to the PKP newsletter. I will open here the link. Give it. There are three mailing lists that you can subscribe. Developer updates, PKP community news, and security news. So you should subscribe to all of them if you want to have all information. If you're not interested in everything, you can just select which one you want. Here, if you have like many journals, many installations in your server, you can use Docker or LXD to isolate the installations. So one journal won't have physical access to the other. Even if there is a virus on one journal, it won't be able to access the other. So to be isolated in like a kind of another machine. Or if you don't want to use, you can also create like virtual machines, whatever. It's just better to keep things isolated. It's good to invest in good hardware. The most important for OJS is the disk. So if you can use SSD disks, it will be great. Here I just left some plugins that can be useful too. This Lucene plugin is to improve the search. So if you have problems in the search, if it's too slow, you can use this. And there will be a lot of extra requirements too if you use this plugin, but the search will work much faster. There's this plugin from another institution, this honeypot. It's just a way to deceive bots, so they won't be able to register in your journal. If you have a lot of fake users, it should help. There's this PKP better password. It will just ask the users to use better passwords when they are creating the account, like to use one small letter, one uppercase letter, um, different symbols, etc. There is also this antivirus plugin. It will run the antivirus for each like article, like PDF or whatever that the user uploads to the system. This mail send filter, it's a new plugin that we created in our environment. We were having like issues with fake accounts. Like we started using the server of Amazon to send emails instead of our own server. And in Amazon, if you start sending a lot of emails that are refused or rejected, then they block your account. So this plugin is checking if the user is active, if it's not using a fake account, like this mailinator. Yeah, and then if the user is using such things or invalid emails, like I create an email like Jonas at blah 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 blah.com. This email doesn't exist, but if you try to send, the such services like Amazon are going to complain that you are sending a lot of bad emails. So this plugin is just going to block such things. If the user has such email, the email won't be sent to him. Yes, more tips. Just to run database cleanups and index analyzers. I think maybe I can find here faster. Um, where can I find this thing here? Yeah, here I have this table maintenance. Yeah. So there's a lot of options here, like optimize table, analyze table, check if the table is okay, if there's no errors. It's good to run sometimes because it will make the database to run faster. At least this analyze and the optimize. I don't know what interface you have. If you are using another application, you also can run these commands in the commands line. You can search in the MySQL documentation about the cleanup and index analyzer. Yeah, you can also enable the reCAPTCHA to fight against the bots, just to show this Google reCAPTCHA when the user is trying to log in or trying to create accounts. You can use like this bot blockers or rate limiters on the server. For example, you can use this Cloudflare. It will try to block bots by itself. In our hosting service, we are using something called bed bot blocker, I think. Bed bot blocker. I think it's this the name. Yeah, it's a open source project. They just have a huge list with IPs and user agents, etc. that are just bots. They are just going to stay hammering your server and using your server for nothing. They are not real users. So it's good to block such things. Where's the slides? Okay. And this rate limiters is also good. You can, for example, limit one IP to make like maximum 10 requests per second. Like a normal user can't make so many requests, I mean. But it should be well done because, for example, some institutions might be using the same IP, but all these users inside the institution, they will be like using the same IP, so you can't block the whole IP. Okay, what more? Yeah. So if you have your own email server, it's good to check if it's on a blacklist. There are some services that stay warning you. You can just register there. Then they'll say, oh, you are blacklisted on this institution. Then if you are on the blacklist and you try to send email, your email is going to be blocked, like spam. You should also set up this SPF and DMARC and GKIM readers in the DNS for extra reliability. It's just things that are helping your server to not be marked as spam. And I'm not going to talk about it. You need to read the documentation about such things because it's a whole new subject. If you can, you should also set up hardware and load monitors to understand if your journal is using too much resources. Maybe there is a bot. You can just understand what's happening and do something to fix. Without the monitor, it's difficult to know what's happening with the disk and the CPU and the memory. Also, it's good to keep your OJS updated. In general, you can always upgrade OJS if it's just a minor upgrade. I mean, just if you are using 3.3.0.0, it's always okay to migrate to 3.3.0. anything, because there is no breaking changes on this minor upgrades. It's just like bug fixes, very small fixes. Okay. So you also can install an antivirus on the server, or also a web application firewall, which you just try to check if the user is trying to send bad requests, like to find SQL injections, JavaScript injections, to check the request and look for bad things there, like bad parameters, and need to block the request of the user. Okay, here I just left the links where you can look for extra help and support. The forum is the best place. This one I already shared it in the previous meeting, so I'm going to skip. And here I left a list of random issues that can happen during the upgrades. All these things I took from my colleague who is doing the upgrades. I'm not doing this type of work. I'm just doing coding things mostly. And unless there is something really weird in the upgrades, then I try to investigate and see what's happening. But yeah, here I just left a list of things that can happen. Yeah, there's a lot of description. Occasionally, the TinyMC plugin may not be installed or enabled after the upgrades. Yeah, so like it's like after you upgrade and you enter in this TinyMC plugin, it will to be like missing or not enabled, and then you see this error API key missing. Yeah, then here it's saying how to fix. Like as a journal manager, you should enable the plugin in the website plugins. Yeah, there's just a lot of problems that can happen. They normally don't happen, but if you have some problem and you see here in the list, there will be the solution. Yeah, I'm not going to explain everything. And that's the end.
Oke.
Thanks.
Tidak ada Jonas. Bapak dan Ibu, saya jelaskan sedikit. Tadi sudah dijelaskan oleh Jonas. Kalau upgrade sebaiknya bertahap. Kalau versinya adalah sebelum 2.4.8, kita harus ke 2.4.8 dulu, baru ke 3.2, terus kemudian ke 3.3 atau 3.4. Pasti akan banyak problem jika kita skip yang ke upgrade ke OJS 3.2. Jadi sesudah successfully upgrade, dan itu tahapannya sama semua kurang lebih. Kalau misalnya ada error, jangan mulai lagi dari awal, tapi mulai dari di mana error itu berada, gitu ya. Kalau kecuali memang errornya tidak bisa dibetulkan, terpaksa kayak Jonas tadi, kita mulai lagi dari awal. Nah, sesudah melakukan jadi ada upgrade resepinya, sesudah selesai semua, kemudian kita melakukan yang namanya production upgrade. Kita harus menjalankan lokal testnya juga, jalankan tes manualnya, dan ini harus dicek bersama-sama, tidak hanya oleh sistem administrator, karena dia hanya mengerti sistem, tapi tidak mengerti konten. Nah, kontennya itu yang harus mengecek adalah journal manager dan juga para editor. Jonas juga sudah menjelaskan tentang beberapa tips maintenance dan beberapa error message yang mungkin ada dan solusinya gitu ya. Jadi kurang lebih itu yang tadi dijelaskan oleh Jonas. Jonas, we do have several question over here. I move to the second question. Wait a second. So it is confirmed that we cannot upgrade directly from OJS 3.1 to 3.4. Is it correct?
Oh, wait. I think it should work. You need to this jump because of OJS 2. If you are not using OJS 2, I think it should just work, the upgrade. If it's not working, you can write in the forum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just need this step because in OJS 3, we removed all the code that can upgrade OJS 2. The last OJS 3 that can upgrade from OJS 2 is the 3.2.1. But if you are already using the OJS 3, then I think you can just move to the last.
Okay.
You just need these steps if you are using OJS 2.
Okay, because one of the participants said that he directly upgrade from 3.1 to 3.4, but there are always navigation link, hashtag navigation link after the upgrade.
I didn't understand. Affiliation link, I didn't understand.
Maybe you can see in the chat column. Hashtag navigation.
Where is this message?
Wait a second.
You can tell me maybe the time when it was sent. I can scroll here.
So the time is
Okay.
Already.
Just to be synchronized. Okay, now I see.
You already see? Okay.
Yeah, here. So here it's missing like the translation. So maybe it's that thing that I said. Maybe you need to change the locale, the configuration. You see these things with the, I forgot how it's called, the symbol in English. But whenever you see this, it's missing the translation. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's missing the translation.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's working, but it's missing the translation. So maybe it wasn't translated. If he's using like a locale that nobody translated, then he can translate by himself. He can enter in one site. I can share the link. Let me find here. I think it's translate PKP. Yeah. So here you can see all the translations. You can see what is translated, what is not. All the languages. See, there's open journal system, open monograph, open blah blah, the shared library. See, these red things are things that were not translated. And here you can see the language. See, like English, it's everything is almost everything's translated. It's missing something there. I don't know what is it. Armenian, it's okay. Then you can look in Indonesia. See, Indonesia, it's missing a lot of things. So if you don't have, then you need to translate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one problem that can happen.
Okay, another question.
Yeah,
We move
because
on.
the translation is made, it's not made by us, all these translations. And you can try to use artificial intelligence to make the automated translations too. I tried to use and it worked well. I created one plugin and I just asked like, oh, here I have my translation file in English. Please translate everything to all these other languages. It generated everything.
And it
So
worked.
yeah, I will suggest PKP to use this. Then we can at least to provide like basic translations. Then maybe someone can review later and fix any kind of errors that the artificial intelligence can make. But for this type of task, it's great.
Okay. Okay, we move on to the next question. One of the participants already used the OJS 3.4, but almost every time, there are notification in the email, usage statistics, file loader, task error.
So this is a bug that's happening. It needs to send to the forum, and we can check. Yeah, I think he can even take like Bojana. I can write her name because she's the one that's giving maintenance to this thing. So he can write in the forum and tag her, and she will be able to help. it should work. This
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Jadi,
yeah, and if you have problems, it's also good to always upgrade to the latest 3.4.
okay,
Because these minor upgrades, they will have just bug fixes, and you can just upgrade. It's not going to break the database or whatever.
okay.
So maybe it's something that was fixed already. So before asking something in the forum, it's better to ensure that you are using upgraded version.
Aha, aha.
Yeah.
Oke, Pak Rasdi, kalau masih ada, berarti sarannya Jonas adalah coba ditanyakan ke forum, di tag ke @bozana, jadi bisa ditanyakan langsung ke PKP forum. We move on to the fourth question from Pak Wali. I have upgraded from 2.4 and now in 3.2. However, there are some PDF that are not readable, but all the articles appear. She was asking, can I directly upgrade to 3.3 and directly to 3.4? Later, I will re-upload the articles.
I didn't understand the question.
Maybe you can directly see the question in, wait a second. In 3.8
Okay.
from Muhammad Wali.
Yeah, now I found here.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the PDFs are not readable. Maybe he don't have the files. I don't know. You need to check the error log of the server, or to understand if the file is missing or if it's just like an error in the application.
Pak Wali.
Yeah,
Wali
but then
masih di sini, Pak? Yes, the file is missing, he said.
Okay, so you have to fix manually. I think you have to upload the file later if he still have the file. Yeah, there is nothing we can do. If he even doesn't have such file in the old installation, then it's difficult. Yeah, I need to contact the author or something like that. But the last question I didn't understand, like to provide the SQL used to update article links. Okay, so I think he wants the command to update the path of the file. Yeah, this is not so easy. I maybe I can write later. But I think it's better to just place the file there. Instead of updating the database, you can check the file name that's missing and just place there in the folder with the same name. I don't know if you understand what I mean. It's like it's missing the file text.pdf. So instead of updating the database with a new path, you can just put the file back there. You find what's missing and place there in the folder, the test.pdf. Yeah, that's what I mean.
He was asking, there are 60% files missing after upgraded to OJS 3.2 version. He was asking, can he just re-upload it when everything is finished upgrading?
He can, but it's strange why he doesn't have all these files. It was already missing in the old installation, or it's something that was broken in the upgrade. It's needed to understand. Yeah, if it was already missing, okay, he can upload later.
Iya, Pak Wali katanya kalau misalnya filenya masih ada, bisa di re-upload nanti kemudian. Tapi harusnya prosesnya pada saat di production upgrade itu harusnya muncul juga, Pak. Nanti mungkin bisa dilihat lagi codingnya, errornya di mana. Okay, we move on to the last question. Wait a second. Oh, the participant was asking what program did you use, Jonas?
What
do the
program? You mean the code editor? Because there is many applications here. This
wait a
one?
second. Is it WinMerge or Cursor?
Yeah, it's this. Yeah, it's a code editor with artificial intelligence. It's probably going to replace me in some years. You can ask anything here. You can ask like, write a code to make blah, blah, blah. Or update update the configuration file of OJS to use Postgres. You can write anything and it will try to make. It's not perfect yet, but it's very good. It's like a junior developer. It's making some mistakes. Some things don't make sense, but you can avoid typing a lot of text with such things now.
Oh, so it's AI.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
have support for AI. You can type here like anything, the questions that you have.
Okay.
For example, I have here, for example, this file I can add here. I don't know. And oh, what is this configuration about? Okay, I'm not connected. Yeah, it's using the internet, but then it would say, oh, this is the configuration file of OJS. Then I can ask these small questions to it. I can write code. I can ask to make the translation, and that's what I used. I wrote, for example, access the locale file in English in this folder, blah blah, and generates all the other missing locales for me, and it's generating. It's okay, yeah, it works.
Oke, Bapak dan Ibu, masih ada 60 orang lagi di sini. Saya kira saya buka satu pertanyaan lagi sebelum kita tutup acaranya. Apa ada yang mau langsung bertanya ke Jonas?
Saya keluar dulu. Yang saya tanyakan di chat, Bu.
Oh, Pak Rifki. Ya, tadi saya sudah tanyakan, Pak. Sarannya Jonas adalah kirim ke forum, Pak.
Kirim forum aja ya?
Iya. Jadi kalau misalnya nggak ketemu di forum, langsung ditanyakan ke forum, terus coba di-tag ke Jonas atau sistem developer yang lain.
Baik, Bu. Terima kasih, Bu.
Ya, makasih Pak Rifki.
Sama, Bu.
Apa ada lagi? Baik. Kalau tidak ada, kita akhiri sampai di sini karena waktu sudah menunjukkan jam 5.20. Baik. Mohon maaf Bapak Ibu karena keterbatasan waktu, kami tidak dapat menjawab semua pertanyaan di kolom chat, tapi semoga terwakili oleh pertanyaan-pertanyaan sebelumnya dan mendapat jawaban yang memuaskan dari presentasi kami yang sudah juga dikirimkan oleh panitia. Baik, apakah Pak Arbain sudah ada?
Ya, Bu. Siap, Bu.
Ya, baik. Dari Ketua Umum Relawan Jurnal Indonesia kepada Dr. Arbain, kami persilakan.
Suara saya jelas, Bu?
Jelas.
Siap, Bu.
Jonas, ya. Jonas, can you stop the screen?
Yeah.
Oke, Bu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. As the chair of Relawan Jurnal Indonesia, I would like to thank you all for joining us in this today workshop on upgrading to OJS 3. First, I want to express my gratitude to Mr. Jonas, our speaker, for sharing his knowledge and insights. Thanks thank you also to Mrs. Maria, Bu Maria, our moderator, for guiding the discussion so well. We hope this workshop helps journal managers in Indonesia upgrade their journals effectively. Your participation is vital for improving the quality of our journal. Terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu yang sudah meluangkan waktunya luar biasa pada hari ini dan kemarin dalam rangka mengupgrade OJS di kampus Bapak Ibu masing-masing. Kami dari Relawan Jurnal Indonesia siap membantu Bapak Ibu jika masih ada kendala atau masalah. Di tim kami juga ada tim khusus yang mungkin nanti bisa membantu menangani permasalahan-permasalahan upgrade tersebut. Namun dilihat dulu case-nya, mungkin nanti bisa kita lakukan pendahuluan melalui Zoom dan lain sebagainya. Dan saya juga ingin menyampaikan beberapa program yang kemarin disampaikan oleh Pak Muhammad Ilham Bahtiar selaku Wakil Ketua RJI dan Bu Maria. Kita memiliki program PKP School yang dapat Bapak Ibu ikuti dengan hanya membayar 250.000, Bapak Ibu sudah mendapatkan sertifikat dari PKP langsung. Nah, berikutnya juga ada kegiatan-kegiatan kita untuk mengupgrade kemampuan Bapak Ibu dalam rangka pengelolaan jurnal. Kita memiliki RJI Academy yang nantinya luarannya bisa diteruskan untuk ke lembaga sertifikasi profesi yang akhirnya akan mendapatkan sertifikat dari BNSP. Itu saja mungkin yang bisa saya sampaikan. Terima kasih sekali lagi kepada Bapak Ibu, khususnya ke Bu Maria yang sudah membantu kita secara maksimal dan luar biasa ya. Sampai di hari kedua ini untuk terselenggaranya kegiatan upgrade OJS. Harapannya juga ya dalam waktu dekat mungkin ada tim PKP yang bisa datang ke Indonesia. Oh ya, info terakhir saya ke Afrika Selatan, saya bertemu dengan Juan Pablo Perin. Dia cerita bahwa di 3.7 itu akan ada perubahan yang besar. Karena saat ini PKP menerima hibah dari Parlemen Eropa dalam pengembangan sistem itu akan tampak berbeda. Nah, tampak berbedanya apa nantilah kalau ketemu. Kita bercerita lebih lanjut ya. Yang jelas, yang publication fact dan lain sebagainya itu akan muncul juga dalam waktu dekat. Itu saja mungkin yang saya bisa sampaikan. Sekali lagi terima kasih atas waktu luang Bapak Ibu. Semoga kita sama-sama dapat meningkatkan kualitas publikasi jurnal yang ada di Indonesia. Mungkin info sedikit juga, akreditasi jurnal ya, mudah-mudahan dalam waktu dekat juga akan buka mungkin di bulan Maret dan usulan-usulan yang sebelumnya itu akan diterbitkan mudah-mudahan minggu depan. Terima kasih.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Pak Arbain.
Nggih, Bu.
Baik, berarti akreditasi dengan instrumen yang baru ya Pak?
Informasinya akan dibuka pakai instrumen yang lama di bulan Maret tapi hanya sebentar.
Oke, siap. Berarti berita bagus buat kita ya. Jadinya tidak perlu
Iya,
ini
Bu.
adaptasi dengan
Kalau yang lama itu akan keluar semua.
Oke. Oke, siap. Siap. Sekali lagi terima kasih banyak Pak Arbain.
Iya, Bu. Siap, Bu.
Bapak Ibu peserta webinar, tibalah kita di akhir acara webinar workshop OJS dan Jurnal Upgrade. Semoga materi yang disampaikan dapat berguna sehingga benar-benar siap untuk institusinya masing-masing. Seperti biasa, sebelum kita tutup, kita berikan aplaus yang meriah secara online buat Jonas atas presentasinya yang luar biasa pada hari ini. Kita berikan tanda hati, tanda clap, atau tanda jempol manisnya. Baik, once again, thank you so much, Jonas, for the insightful presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
Oke, thank you.
Yeah.
Baik.
Welcome back to Indonesia, Mr. Jonas. Come again to Indonesia.
Ya, baik.
Ya.
Kami mohon maaf jika ada kekurangan baik dalam persiapan atau selama berlangsungnya acara. Dan sekali lagi terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih, Bu.
Makasih semua.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jonas. Obrigada.
Thank you, Mr. Jonas.
Obrigado.